Okay, let's do this together. Perez Hilton here, and I have yet to read the article. I'm going to do it in real time with you, but Liam Payne's most recent girlfriend, influencer Kate Cassidy, is speaking out publicly in an interview for the first time since the tragic passing of the One Direction member in October of last year. This is the same girlfriend that was with him for weeks in Buenos Aires, whom I think knew what was going on. It has been alleged in the courts in Argentina that Liam was already partying very early into October. 2 weeks later, his life sadly ended. But just a few days prior to him and that balcony incident, Kate Cassidy left him to go back to Florida, where the two of them were living together. I've said this before, and I'll say it again without even having read the interview that she just gave to The Sun. She was an enabler, I think. That is my opinion. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, to be honest. I have a lot of empathy for her. First, she is just 25 years old. That is, to me, still very young. Secondly, Liam was older and very famous, but more so even than that. I remember a viral video that Kate Cassidy made talking about how she manifested Liam Payne. In November of 2023, Kate Cassidy shared a video on social media of how she was a manifester. She, when she was only 10 years old, drew a popsicle stick, made him out to be Liam. She drew Liam. That is the popsicle stick of the One Direction member that she crafted when she was just a little kid. And then she began dating her childhood crush. She was probably walking on eggshells the whole time. Not afraid of him, but afraid that if she rubbed him the wrong way, metaphorically, that he would dump her. And she was willing to go along for the ride and be an enabler and overlook things, or perhaps even partake, because she wanted to be with Liam Payne that badly. I could be totally off with my opinion, but let's get into what she just said. Well, sorry. Her choice of publication, The Sun, you know what that means, right? 95% sure she got paid to speak. I know how The Sun operates. You know how The Sun operates. She didn't do this interview with The Sun for free, right? Kate opened up about their fairy tale romance and how she supported him through thick and thin. She reveals she wishes she'd stayed in Buenos Aires, but is adamant that she did not abandon him and says, "I'm not to blame." Kate says that Liam was her charming soulmate and that they had plans to marry. That last part is true. I remember a video that he made where he talked about proposing to her in a year's time, right? Or maybe not exactly a year, but in the future. Cassidy says, "Love is so optimistic, and you just hope that everything will work out at the end. Obviously, if I could see into the future, I would never have left Argentina." She also debunked rumors that she left him after they got into a fight or several fights. Instead, she says that she went back to Florida to look after their rescue dog, Nala. Kate explains, "I had a responsibility. We had a responsibility. We had our dog, and obviously, I never ever thought this event would occur. Interesting choice of word there, event. Kate believes that it was an accident and that Liam did not take his own life. That is definitely the theory that I agree with as well. He was most likely trying to escape his hotel room where he felt trapped by hotel workers, and he was not of sound mind, sadly. Kate says it was a tragic accident, and no, I never did think he might die young. But we did have our own separate lives. This wasn't the first time we have traveled separately. I just never thought this would have happened, that it would turn out the way it did. It still doesn't feel fully real for me that he's not here. I'm trying to be the best I can be, but I feel like my life has changed so much. I think about Liam every second of every day. From the moment I met Liam, I genuinely believed we were soulmates. He was the most humble, charming, normal person you could ever hope to come across, and genuinely one of the best people I've ever met in my life. That he won't be there with me to navigate through this life, that I'll have to deal with this without him by my side, it's really hard. You don't think about the worst possible thing that can happen. Since his passing, Kate has left their Florida home and moved back to New Jersey. She flew to London to chat with the Sun, and she reveals that she's been seeing a grief therapist for the last 3.5 months. Kate also shares, when we are, speaking about him in the present tense, away from each other, we're not really the clingiest when it comes to messaging. It wasn't super constant. She said she still calls Liam's phone to hear his voicemail recording. Initially, she would listen to his music to fall asleep, but can no longer play any of it. Maybe one day, but not right now, she said. The two of them met back in 2022 when she was waitressing in Charleston, South Carolina, allegedly. There are another theory about how they really met. Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, just a theory. A lot of Liam fans didn't like that she appeared to be using him for social media clout, but she claps back at that also, saying, honestly, he embraced it, meaning he liked being in her videos. Of the moment she found out of his passing, she says, I feel blessed I didn't find out over social media because I just couldn't even imagine that. I was in our home with our dog, scrolling TikTok, and one of Liam's friends called me. That moment, it's like blank. It's blacked out in my head. I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was just a rumor or something that somebody made up to get views. Then instantly, I just had a bad feeling in my gut. Why would somebody make this up? Is this true? And I feel like I just completely blacked out. Due to the ongoing investigation in Argentina, Kate cannot say too much about what she believes happened after she left. And specifically asked why he relapsed, she says, I don't think I want to answer that because I literally wouldn't even know. I'm not sure I believe that. You? She adds, with addiction, you just never know when it's going to come out. She says, I always wanted to be there for him. I genuinely always really did try to do anything I could do to help. I'm 25. I'm not an expert with any of this, so it was hard. But I loved him, and I loved him no matter what. I just did what I could and what I could manage to do. Liam was in such a good headspace when I left Argentina. We were in such a great place, just full of love. He was so happy and positive. And I can't believe the way things truly ended. Thoughts? Let me know in the comments section.